Welcome to Investor XP. This is the news show that covers investing for gamers. Our message? We want gamers to become investors and secure their future. We believe that gamers like yourselves have strong, intelligent communities that allow the cultivation of ideas, and that gives you a distinct edge in the stock market. This show, we discuss investment ideas focused around gaming, entertainment, and technology. I'm not a professional analyst, but I am retired under the age of 40 because of investing, and I want to help you build a better financial future. You can track my stock picks from the show on our website, investorxp.com. You can also see exactly what I'm investing in at kidbrokers.com. I'm building my kids' college fund with the very stocks we discuss on this show. It's Wednesday, July 5th. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about Apple's huge amount of money that you could get if you had invested in some Apple stock. Ubisoft's in the news with some anime projects, talking some Zelda Breath of the Wild, more Square Enix news, Telltale Games, Activision could be in trouble, Nintendo stock is down, and also a little bit of Amazon news out there. So we got quite a bit to go over. Each article is we're going to post as a recap today up at YouTube, and that's what we've got coming up if you're watching live. So let's go ahead and get started. Apple, we've done several articles, and there's always seems like articles pop up with how much money you could make if you invested in Apple stock at a particular time. We like to touch base on these articles once in a while, whether it's Apple, Activision, or someone else, just to show what you can accomplish if you invest in the right companies, knowing that there's some downside as well. So let me go ahead and pull up this article. It's over at Fortune. Bring it up here. Go over it real quick. If you had bought stock when the Apple iPhone launched, seeing how the Apple iPhone anniversary had just come up recently.
Hey, did you know the Capital One Venture Card lets you use your money?
We don't want a Capital One Venture Card. Highlights of the story, and I'll post a link in the video description. Stock is up 744%. So if you invest $100, you have $844 now, including dividends. When the iPhone was first out, obviously much more. If you had put in more, $600 would be $5,000, and $135,000 invested then would be $1.3 million. Total returns of up to 833%, and it was been way more back when the Steve Jobs came back in the company, because Apple was only trading at a couple of bucks. But it's pretty cool to see just how much money you can make off of something like Apple. Now, Apple, they're up today, and they've been on a bit of a slide lately. And once in a while, you'll see Apple do these pullbacks. And people are waiting for the new iPhone to come out. It's all about the iPhone. We don't want Google's ad here, sorry. You can see the last month, Apple was upwards almost 160-ish. Now they're down to 144. Doing all right today. These are usually good times to buy Apple, and people underestimate Apple quite a bit. They consistently raise the dividend. It's an all right dividend, about 2%. Is what they pay. But this article over at Mac Rumors, these little things kind of go unnoticed with Apple. Apple News may expand ways publishers can sell ads and enable micro payments. Now, being able to use third-party ads in this is going to help drive some revenue. This is their service type business where they make money off the App Store and transactions and stuff. This goes over to news. This could be a big thing. Now, this may not take off. Apple, they have lots of these little things that they put out that are potentially huge money makers for them, and they slide under the radar. So, people will say that Apple's innovation's dead, They don't have a lot of good products, but they do have some robust offerings, and little things like that, like this new microtransactions and news articles as ways for advertisers to get some revenue. That could be a big thing. And there's always big things like this popping up. A lot of them are misses, but it only takes one big hit, like an iTunes or something, to drive Apple much, much higher. I think their stock is still in a good position. It's up today. I think once the new iPhone comes out, it's going to run up even more. So keep an eye on Apple stock. We still think it's a buy. Let me know what you think about Apple stock, and did you make any money off it investing in around the time the iPhone come up? Be interested to hear your stories of success on that. So let's move on. Got an awful lot to cover today. Try and keep on track. Go ahead and post your comments. I'll get to them in between the stories the best I can as we move along here. Ubisoft is back in the news with a potential Assassin's Creed anime project in the works. We've just talked about recently Castlevania coming to Netflix, and there's a bit of a tie-in here. So let's take a look at this article and Ubisoft stock. It was a lot of these companies are starting to use their IPs and get the most out of them, whether it's through toy lineups or different mediums like video. Activision's been doing it for a while very successfully. Nintendo has too. Ubisoft is getting into the mix here. Let's pull up the article, take a look at it. Interesting, the producers from the Castlevania series are involved, and this was from a Facebook post. Guy selected his next project, Assassin's Creed, that could be coming out. So, anime project, I think it's a good move. I'm actually really surprised Ubisoft is doing stuff like this. Pull up their stock here. Shows good focus in the company as they're basically in the middle of a hostile takeover. Ubisoft, we've no secret we don't like their stock. We don't like the company. Gotten burned on their games. They need better games, we feel, more polished games. But as Vivendi's been trying to buy them out, you can see their stock has gone up quite a bit over the last 6 months. The price has been getting up there. And their E3 lineup was very good. We're going to wait and see what happens with their games. Like I said, I'm impressed that they're rolling out this Assassin's Creed project and going forward with it with all the things that they've got going on. So E3, a lot of good things for Ubisoft. They're still in the doghouse. I got to wait to see this round of games that they produce, if they're still buggy like a lot of their other ones have. They have real problems with their games and the polish overall. But this is cool. I like the Assassin's Creed story. If it's done right, it'll be all right. Not as pumped as Castlevania, but we'll see how Castlevania does, and then we'll see what they do with Assassin's Creed. If done right, it could be a pretty cool story. So good news for Ubisoft stock. We're still kind of taking a wait and see on them. Let me know what you think. Are you hyped, pumped up about some Assassin's Creed coming your way? Let me know in the comments below. So moving right along. This is more of a PSA than a news story. The Wolf Link amiibo is back in stock. I knew that they were some of the Zelda figures were going to make their rounds again, and I was actually lucky enough to pick up a Wolf amiibo figure yesterday. As you can see here, managed to get it over at GameStop. So if you want to get your hands on one of these, head on over to GameStop. They've got them in stock. It's not showing up on their website. It's showing up as in-store only. If you haven't played Breath of the Wild with Wolf Link, it is worth getting because it changes how the game is played. While you have this wolf amiibo chasing around with you, it's pretty cool. He does a lot of hunting. You certainly won't run out of supplies with Wolf Link, but GameStop showing currently unavailable online, but like I said, they are in the stores. They're periodically getting these restocked. So check out your GameStop. I would say check out Best Buy. Walmart, maybe. Best Buy's not showing them online. They're showing them sold out, so they may get them in stock. Like I said, I know GameStop is. Amazon is showing them, but it's at an extreme premium. You can get it for around $33, I think it is. If this loads up, $35. So you see the resale value of these is already pretty good, and this is the second round of them that are coming out. eBay, they're going for about $25. You can make $10 off them or so if you find one, or try and get it sold on Amazon. As these sell out again and they don't make them, this is going to be a big seller. Like I said, this is a must-have. If you're playing Breath of the Wild, it really changes how the game goes. So a bit of a PSA there. Stop by your GameStop. Hit up your GameStop, Best Buy, all those. Get the amiibo and enjoy the game in a whole new way. It's pretty cool how it plays. Definitely worth it. Let me know if you've managed to play Breath of the Wild with Wolf Link hang around with you, run around. It's actually a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I thought it would be. So let me know if you've done that, or if you plan on getting them, or if you've seen them in stores. Tweet us, let us know. Get the word out where you can get them at. I found mine at the local GameStop. They've been getting the amiibos periodically, so hope you get some. Move on here. We talked about Dragon Quest XI the other day, making some news, making some headways that it's definitely coming west, but today there's some more news on Dragon Quest X of all things, which is an MMO over in Japan. We like Square Enix stock, and this is one of the reasons why we like it, is Activision probably has the best all-time MMO with the largest numbers of subscribers in World of Warcraft. Square has done pretty good with their Final Fantasy MMO, and particularly Dragon Quest X MMO, which we're hoping to get it in the West here. It's surprising that this is still so popular and making headlines here. But there is a Switch version that is confirmed and a PS4 version that is confirmed. Now, the Switch version, you can play it in Japanese on your Switch. I don't know how well that's going to play for you, but yeah, here's the all-in-one package. It's all the expansions and stuff that came with it. There's the box for the Nintendo Switch MMO Dragon Quest X. Let's look at the trailer. Why not? Um, maybe it'll come. Maybe it'll come stateside. Just one of the reasons why we like Square Enix. It's old news at this point. It's last gen um, MMO, but still getting a lot of buzz, and people want to play it over here. So hopefully Square listens and releases it. Just another title I think will sell extremely well for them as they support the Switch as a portable device. We'll see what they do. Let me know if you want to see Dragon Quest X come stateside here. And we will move on to a question that I get once in a while on investing. So hopefully this clears some things up. Once in a while I will get questions about different developers or game publishers to invest in, because we that's primarily who we invest in, is video game stocks, gaming, entertainment, technology, those type of things. Activision's a big one we like, Nintendo, those things. But I had some questions on Telltale. A lot of people like their games, and we're asking, can we invest in Telltale as a publisher or developer? And the answer to that question is no. They are a private company, and the question came up because of their support for the Nintendo Switch. Obviously people want to get in on trades that are going to benefit from the popularity of the Nintendo Switch, and I'll put a link to the article here. A lot of articles where Telltale is, they're fans of Nintendo Switch, and they want to bring their titles over to it, but unfortunately they are they're not a publicly traded company. They utilize, I believe they utilize the Unreal Engine, so Tencent would be a investment there. But private company in California, maybe they'll go public someday if they get large enough. They've got some good games, some good hits. Looking at their website, it looks like a pretty decent place to work at. It looks like they've got some good benefits there. They've got some pretty neat ones there. Unlimited time off vacation policy, winter holiday break. That's pretty good. You don't see that an awful lot. Life insurance and 401k, yeah, that's pretty average. A good medical plan, all right. Employee assistance program, dog friendly office, nice. Discounted pet insurance, on-site massage, nice. So, milestone-based program for development teams, so pretty good there. I like the unlimited time off is a hard one to beat, but so to answer the question, Telltale looks like a fantastic place to work for as far as benefits go, based out in California. Not a publicly traded company to invest in. They've got some pretty good series out there, so hoping for more from them, but not something to be able to invest in. You have to work around either hardware, stuff like Microsoft, invest in them. A lot of the Telltale games are easy digital downloads to get. The engines that they use, investing in that, like I said, Tencent or something. You have to find a workaround if you want to invest in them. So, sorry for the bad news for the people that asked, but that's Telltale. Wish I could say you could invest in them. They may be an interesting one to invest in, I would say, as a company. Growing, they have a nice niche. So, we will move on. Still got a bunch to go through today. Bear with me here. I have been playing over the holiday the DLC Pack 1 for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I wanted to give a review of the first DLC pack for Breath of the Wild, and I can tell you right from the get-go, it is absolutely worth getting the season pass for Breath of the Wild. This DLC pack alone is worth the price as far as hours that you would put into the game. So let's go ahead and I'll review real quick what you get in the DLC pack, what comes with the game, and what I liked about it. Some of the things were, could kind of do without. They're cool nostalgia pieces, but wasn't the big part of the expansion pack. So first thing, Trial of the Sword. To upgrade your sword, there's 3 difficulty levels on that. Each one is very satisfying to beat. I have not tried the Trial of the Sword on Master Mode. Master Mode is extremely difficult. I could only imagine Trial of the Sword was pretty difficult, especially the last one. You want to utilize your resources pretty well, but that was definitely worth some money. Hero's Path, it's an okay feature. You'll be very surprised at how much of the map you haven't covered when you look at your hero path. I thought I had covered quite a bit of it. I opened up the whole map and all the shrines and stuff like that, but there's still places that I really hadn't been yet, so that's pretty cool. Master Mode, we'll get into that in just a second. Travel Medallion, that's a sweet item that you can get so you can transfer to specific locations. I've got a couple locations I like to farm stuff from, so that was a good addition. Majora's Mask, it kind of makes some of the other masks obsolete. It's cool. It's a cool item to have, cool item to wear. Not a big deal. All of the outfits and the armor and stuff weren't particularly difficult to find. Pretty easy clues as to where they were. Medina's helmet looks cool. Not much different than some of the other armors. The Phantom armor is pretty cool. It creeps people out. Tingle's outfit, I mean, that weirds people out in the towns. The Korok mask is a good addition, so you can find the Koroks. Makes finding them a little easier. So that stuff all by itself, it'd be questionable if the DLC pass was worth it. I'd have to see what DLC 2 had, but the big one is the Master Mode, and this definitely makes the price worth it. It's really a different game experience. The monsters are so difficult because they regain their energy back. So be prepared to go through several weapons battling monsters. You play it differently in that the easy mode or the normal mode, you would die a lot because you would go into battles and just rush right in, and you kind of get cocky and you die. It was difficult enough. It was still great fun. Master mode is fun, but you have to plan out a battle if you're going to go fight some monsters. So it's definitely, the difficulty's up. I could see playing through the whole game in Master mode. So you're talking 70 plus hours in just the first DLC pack, and the whole DLC cost $19. So absolutely worth it. Now, like I said, playing over the holidays with it, cool stuff with it. Master mode makes the whole DLC worth the price. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and get yourself the DLC for Breath of the Wild. And if you haven't played Breath of the Wild yet, I don't know what you're doing. You need to go ahead and start playing it. Let me know if you've played some Master mode, if you got the Trial of the Sword down in the comments below. Interested in what you have to say. Moving right along. 1 second. Yeah. Activision Blizzard is in the news. There's an article that their stock could be ready for a new low, or a recently new low. It could be plummeting here. The chart is set up for them to go down. And let's take a look at Activision Blizzard. Pull up the article here and go over what they're talking about in the chart. Not something I'm buying. The charts are always good to look at. A lot of people swear off them. But to me, it's a little bit of voodoo involved, and there's always caveats like everything else. Max, how's it going? I'm not buying the chart. Most of the time I don't, but it's just an extra piece of info that you have out there when you start factoring in if you're going to invest in something. So over at the street, the chart for Activision looks vulnerable, and they are talking about it dropping down. What did they say it was going to bottom at here? Below 56. And it could end down in the 50s. I'll put a link to the description there. Try and illustrate it as on the chart. The best one to show it here. It's probably this one up here. Yeah. Might be a little bit hard to see, but as you can see, it when it drops below the average there, it's got to find different levels of resistance, which the next one looks to be about 54. It could be all the way down to 50, depending on what moving average you're looking at. That's kind of how, in a nutshell, the charts work. Without going into extreme details, you look at the moving averages and you look for variation over long periods of time of where the stock moves. Typically, you need 6 consistent data points to show a shift when you're talking statistical changes here. But yeah, it could fall, as low as 50, potentially, if it doesn't get back up. And it's up today. And they've got some earnings coming out here. So needs a close above 62 to turn bullish. Looking at 56, maybe all the way down to 50. So the charts are showing Activision is in potential rough shape, but that was earlier today, and the stock has bounced back up a percentage or so. We had talked about before the holiday that Activision has been on a bit of a slide. Hopefully it can get back up to 60. I'm going to see what they've got earnings report-wise in August. Their slide recently has been a good buying opportunity. We're liking Activision, Nintendo, or Seagate as a potential buy. Downside for Activision is it could go down as low as 50, which I wouldn't mind seeing. To buy up more of it if people panicked out of Activision. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you buying up Activision? I like it on its slide. I like it going into earnings beforehand. Whether or not that's the choice we buy this month, I don't know. It's very attractive to me. Let's put it to you that way. Head over to the comments. Couldn't find a review of I've looked at CD Projekt Red, the people behind Witcher. I can't find a U.S. ADR or means of investing in them, so they're kind of all off to the side. But I like CD Projekt Red. For anyone who has access to those markets to invest in them, they make some great games, but Not something they offer on E-Trade right now to get into. They used to have a global platform. I think they did away with it. Yeah, I did some France and some Japan. Um, Gameloft I invested in, and Nintendo in Japan um, before I found the ADR. This was a while ago, but um, yeah, it depends on what exchange you have. Um, Depends on what exchange you have, who you use as your broker. Some have access, some don't. So, but I like CD Project Red. They definitely have some good games. So moving along, a Nintendo stock is taking a beating today, which is they've been on a slide and they continue to slide. Very surprising with the activity that they've got coming out. Nintendo, they've been underperforming for I believe it's about a month. Let me go ahead and pull up their chart and everything. They're down. It was about 4.5% today. They've been hovering around that. Um, let's see. I think it's over the last month. Yeah, they had bumped up to 43, now back down to 38 ish. Certainly, the last week they've been on a slide, and they continue with a 5% drop today. 6 month they're doing very well, but this this has got me looking at Nintendo for a potential buy. Uh, like Nintendo, a little bit too much for them to pull back um, this amount. Big thing that they've got going for them is a lack of debt and uh, $8.5 billion that they sit on. A lot of good things with their amusement parks coming out. Switch support wasn't what I'd like to see at E3, but maybe it was a little too early for a lot of the third-party people to get involved. There is more. There looks to be more third-party support than what the Wii U is going to get. Importing over games should be fairly easy. So I believe the games will come over time. They cannot keep the Nintendo Switch on shelves, and it's going to sell more than they expected. They're going to sell out of everything this year. The Super NES Classic or Mini, whichever you want to call it, that's coming out. Those are all going to sell out this year. So Nintendo is going to have two of the best-selling consoles this year in their retro SNES and the Switch, bar none, come the holiday season. So almost 5% pullback in one day for Nintendo, and more than that over the last 5 days. Really has us looking at Nintendo as our stock purchase for the kids this month. It's already up 60-70% for us, but a good pullback like this it might be another chance to boost up our shares in Nintendo. So looking at them as a buy this month. Let me know what you think about Nintendo slide. I think there's too much good news going on for them to be sliding this way. We haven't even really talked about a lot of their mobile games that they have coming out with, Pokemon Go being a $1 billion hit in and of itself. So really still bullish on Nintendo. Pullback could be a buying opportunity. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We will move along. Finish out. I think this is the most articles I've rattled off in a day, but seems to be going smooth. Let's see if we can end it strong here. Got some news about Amazon and Macy's today. As Macy's could be a target for Amazon to buy up. Now, normally I do not cover this type of investing if you want to buy in on a company. viewer's question here. What was the dividend per share on Nintendo? Per share, I can't remember, with some sort of yen, the yen conversion. It's usually around 1% or so. Pull it up here. Nintendo, they pay out a dividend. They pay it out annually based on how much money they have. They probably have it up on their investor site. They might have it up by now. It usually pays this month or next month. I haven't seen, I don't believe I've seen where they've paid out yet, but it should be coming up soon. Roughly, I think it was in line with their most recent one. Let's see if it has it on here on Yahoo. Usually they have the percentage. 1 point something percent. It's not up over at Yahoo. Let me pull up. Yeah, usually they have the trailing dividend yield, and I think it was pretty close to what it was last year. I'll put a link in the Nintendo video that I post today. Their investor relations. If I can get to the English version here. Where are you? Yeah, the coffee mug. I got a bunch of different coffee mugs that I cycle through on this. I like to collect coffee mugs. Yeah, a lot of people I've seen in boards and just discussion things are asking about the Nintendo dividend. I probably should have had a story queued up for that today, but unfortunately I did not. Let's see here. Oops. Notice the shareholders. Yeah, it'll be in here where they declare their dividend. Okay, there's the notice of dividend. Hold on. I'll remember. I just want to remind myself to put this link in the video description here. Let's see what they've got. Nintendo resolved to pay year-end dividend record. So 430 yen per share. So do a conversion on 430 yen, less than 43 cents. Come on, Google. Is that right? So 430 yen, $3.79 it looks like, according to their investor relations, is what the dividend is going to be for Nintendo. So that's what it looks like. I should be getting a dividend payout of $3.79 per share. So not bad at all. If you invest in the ADR NTDOY, I believe you have to divide that by eighth, because each share is an eighth of a share, if I remember correctly. But That's your dividend payout. Hope that answers your question. Back to the story at hand. Normally we don't do stories to buy up stock when there's a buyout going on, but that's not the way we like to invest. Is investing and getting the bump off of buyout rumors. We prefer to invest long term, get your income from the dividend. But this was an interesting enough story that I felt like I had to squeeze it in today and do it. So looks like Amazon is making an offer that got rejected for $38 a share for Macy's. Macy's is saying the real estate that they have alone is worth a ton of money. So Amazon is looking to buy up some Macy's here, buy them out. That would be very interesting to see Amazon getting into retail brick and mortar spaces by just buying out Macy's. So that's a little crazy to think about. Amazon's been doing a lot of crazy things recently there as they attempt to take over the world. Macy's stock, if you think this is going to happen, and Amazon buys Macy's at $38 a share, it's going for $23 a share right now, with a 6% dividend yield. So you can make some money while you wait off of their dividend, and potentially Amazon getting it for $38 a share. So you'll get some appreciation there if you want to make that bet. I do not like to invest that way. I do not like Macy's stock, and I'm not opposed to retail stocks. I think they've been beaten down. We own some GameStop and some Foot Locker. I think retail is going to go to smaller footprints. Macy's is too big of a footprint and too broad of an offering to like them. Now, if Amazon does buy them out, there's some money to be made there, and they got a 6% dividend, so it is intriguing. We just don't like to make that bet when we're investing. We invest long term for dividend income, but don't let my rules interfere. If you have some strong convictions one way or another about investing, if you've done the homework and you think it's a slam dunk and you're willing to plop down your money, go for it. It is a great feeling when you're right on the investment. So Macy's, Amazon, potentially $38 a share. It's trading at $23 and it pays a 6% dividend. So you could be collecting 6% for a long time while you wait for Amazon to buy them out. That's a risky type of trade. Don't condone it, but if you want to live dangerously and you're young enough to make your money back if it goes sour, go for it, man. Let me know what you think. Is Amazon going to buy Macy's, and would you make that investment? Let me know what you think. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. We're running a little late, but I had to cram all those stories in. So be sure to check out all the videos today. We posted quite a few. Recaps will be up on YouTube. So thank you for watching. Those of you watching live, I hope I answered your questions. We'll be live again tomorrow. We're live every day, 1:30 Eastern, 12:30 Central. You can contact the show by the info that's behind me on the screen. Tweet us, mail us, post your comments in the videos. Like to hear your trading strategies and what you're looking at, or send me a question. I'll try and do a video on it. Max, I've got yours coming up soon, a couple of questions of yours, so look for them this week. But thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already so you get the latest investing news for gamers. We'll see you tomorrow.